Hi, my name is Amy Rodriguez, and thank you for giving me a moment of your time. Freedom. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Freedom. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost gone. I got a telephone in my bosom, and I can call him up from my heart. I got a telephone in my bosom, and I can call him up from my heart. When I need my brother, when I need my mother. Freedom. These words are lyrics from a song by Richie Havens, who was the very first artist to perform on the stage on August 15, 1969, at the Woodstock Music Festival. I personally come from a long line of musical connoisseurs. My mother, my grandparents, they all loved music, and they brought me up to appreciate it as well. Much of the music that I was brought up on were from artists that performed at Woodstock. Because of this, now I too have an extremely extensive yet eclectic musical library. And most of it is featured artists from Woodstock. I have grown to actually kind of idolize the entire event. Due to that, that's why I wanted to speak on Woodstock today. Woodstock was the proverbial platform for cultural and social change, all while becoming a historically symbolic event for history. And now that I've kind of stated that and let you see the overall importance of Woodstock, let's break it down and let's discuss how Woodstock became or helped cultural change. According to culturalshapers.net, Woodstock led the way to the power of what a music festival could do and achieve. It brought the concept of pop-up music festivals into play and showed the world how peaceful and powerful music could be as a way to draw out a massive crowd. For the Woodstock Festival, no one comprehended that 500,000 people would come out. They were only thinking that around 50,000 people would come out. And actually I have a photo that shows just an aerial shot of the crowd at Woodstock. If you can see this. This is just an aerial photo that shows the massive amounts of people that showed up at Woodstock. According to WoodstockBlues.com, an estimated 500,000 people showed up, and that's 450,000 more than what they thought were going to come. Woodstock also brought unity and peace amongst different cultures at a time when the country was divided due to the war in Vietnam. And it proved that people could be peaceful. So outside of that one little farm in Bethel, New York, there was war going on in Vietnam. There was so much conflict. People were upset in the States over it. But in that one little spot, all these hippies that had gotten together and other cultures, they were showing that you could bring hundreds of thousands of people together and it could be a peaceful event. Woodstock also affected social change because it showed that a lot of people were not really affiliated with hippies. They didn't realize or understand the whole concept of what being a hippie was. People in the 1960s, they dressed in little peacoat dresses, the women did. They weren't really, I want to say safely presumptuous on what a hippie was. So when Woodstock garnered all this press coverage, people who were not associated or didn't know, exactly what the hippie life entailed, but what they had thought, they were able to see, that these people could gather together and be peaceful, and it kind of brought light to that particular lifestyle. Also, it shed light on how freely drugs were being used. There was a particular video that I had watched that showed some singers, and before the video, the announcer was telling people about the drugs, and you can actually hear it right now.
You may take it with however many grains of salt you wish. That the brown acid that is circulating around us is not specifically too good. It's suggested that you do stay away from that unless it's your own kid. I mean, I guess.
And that just shows that even the announcers at that time, people were using all kinds of drugs, but the announcers were trying to look out for these people and make sure that they weren't using the brown acid. Woodstock is a historically symbolic event because it was a concert that was promoting peace and love, again, at a time when there was so much conflict going on in the world. Woodstock showcased music from various artists and brought people together in ways that wouldn't have come together, or they wouldn't have come together otherwise. It showcased music from Joe Cocker, Janis Joplin, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young, and even people that weren't on the flyer came out. The Mamas and the Papas. Different sorts of ethnic music were there, and everybody got along, and everybody listened to that music, and it was not a place where people really saw differences. They were there to practice peace and love. In conclusion, I hope that you are able to appreciate, as I do, just how significant Woodstock was to the society and to culture during that time, and how it left such a mark on the world that it has become a well-known historical event that brought people together. And as Joe Cocker states in that famous song that he sung that day in 1969, I get by with a little help from my friends. And that ideal was famously shown as well on a farm in Bethel, New York in 1969. Thank you.